Welcome to the Swisher Podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. Make sure you go on Instagram and follow me at SwisherENT. Make sure you also go on YouTube and hit that subscribe button so you get a notification when the new videos is coming out. Make sure you also hit the subscribe button and the follow button on any of the streaming platforms, which is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SoundCloud, so you get a notification when the next podcast is coming out. Thank you so much for listening.
It's Corona time. We back, Swisher Podcast, and it's Corona time. This shit is getting worse every day. Every day, this shit is getting worse and worse. I see something new about the coronavirus every time I get on my phone. Sometimes I don't even want to open up my phone because it's either somebody else has caught it or they found out something worse about the virus. Thank God we are not like Italy. They are really going through it over there. But that just lets you know the type of how serious it can get. Hopefully hospitals in the U.S. are preparing for it to get that worse. That is the worst thing we can do, is not be prepared for what can happen in the future. There are a lot of people sick. I feel like there's a lot of people with the coronavirus who are not getting checked because they don't want to, they don't want to know that they have it. They're just saying it's the normal cold or it's a flu. But if you're the type of person who never really gets sick and then all of a sudden you got a cold or you feeling sick, I recommend you should go get checked because we don't want you spreading it around to other people, and then you have your whole neighborhood, your whole apartment building, your whole section sick with that Rona. Now, there's a lot of talk, and I've seen a lot of stuff on social media, and one of the things that I saw that really kind of pissed me off was this one player on the Utah Jazz. His name was like Rudy. I ain't never heard of him until today, and he's just touching the mic trying to be funny like he ain't got it, but he ended up being the first NBA player with the coronavirus. And he got his teammates sick because they said he was playing in the locker room with his teammates and just touching all their stuff, and he got one of his teammates sick. It's sad that this could turn a lot worse than it already is. I can only imagine having to be quarantined somewhere for months at a time. Like I said the last episode, this is when you realize those doomsday preppers, they're going to be sitting right. Those doomsday preppers that, if you don't know what I'm talking about, go on Netflix and watch Doomsday Preppers. It's a show. It's a show about people who prepare for things like this. If all the food, okay, so China shut down, so we're not going to get a lot of stuff from over there because ain't nobody working. So if everybody buys everything out of the Sam's Club, out of all the stores, not going to be able to have those things. That's why people are stocking up. If you go to the store now, you'll realize people are stocking up on a lot of those essentials right now. But these doomsday preppers, they do this when there's nothing going on. They're stocking up year round. So they don't have to go out to the store. They don't have to do these things that we do right now just to get ahead or whatnot. They have these underground bunkers so nobody can mess with them or whatnot, come steal their stuff. But go watch Doomsday Preppers. But to see what's happening, like I said, overseas and, in the hospital in Italy where people are literally deciding if they get to live or die because there's not enough beds or respirators or whatnot for these people, is a very, very sad situation. And unfortunately, they have to go through that, If this ever ends or this ever gets better, hopefully it does, we should have some type of just be prepared just in case something like this happens again. I'm not surprised 'cause I'm really wondering how things like this don't happen more often. I guess we get so immune to certain germs and certain things that doesn't happen as often as it should. But there's some nasty people out here. There's some nasty people out here spreading lots of germs, spreading who knows what. And I think it all can become to a mindset also. I believe the media can say that there's a disease or a virus called anything. I don't know, light bulb or fucking Draco. And people would believe it, The media can control how much we panic and how much we really give a fuck about anything, If the media is constantly showing one thing obviously we're all going to care about it because this is what we're seeing. We're going to say if they're showing us this in this type of way, then it must be important. Find it funny that this is happening right around election time, where people have to be in large crowds, where people have to go out to the polls and touch the same things that a lot of people have already touched that may or may not, and probably do have germs on it. This whole situation is crazy if you ask me. I swear I could count how many funny posts I've seen about this. And I mean, it's good content, don't get me wrong. I'm talking about it right now, but it's getting serious. And I don't know, all we can really do is pray and hope for the best. Hopefully this is just go away within the next few weeks. I'm trying to step out. You feel me? I'm trying to step out. I'm trying to go out. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be stuck. But I also don't even try to be around a bunch of people with that Rona, with that with that cough, sniff. You feel me? But I mean, hey, take that chance. But you don't want to end up with that Rona. And like I said last episode, it's Corona time. So you better gear up and get ready. Protect yourself. Get you some of that Purell, that hand sanitizer. Some of that rub in real. So you gotta rub it in real good. And if you gotta wash your hands for 20 seconds, how the hand sanitizer gonna help really? I know that's 99.9% of that alcohol. 99.9% of that alcohol in that hand sanitizer. But shit. They said it's supposed to work, but I don't know. If hand sanitizer killed it, I don't just give people shots of hand sanitizer. Let me stop. Can't do that. But it might work. I might have just fixed it I might have just cured the whole thing right there. Just give people shots of hand sanitizer in their arm. It's like the flu shot. And apparently it kills it. Well, welcome back. This is Swisher Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you are a new listener, I appreciate you for giving this podcast a chance. If you are an old listener, I appreciate you for still listening. Like I said, get back on the grind. Took a week or two off, back on the grind. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it be like that. If you listen for a while, you already know how the podcast rock. Appreciate you guys for being patient and listen to that last episode, Snapchat Top 3. Good episode. Got a lot of plays. And, appreciate it. You for listening. But like I said, this coronavirus is just getting out of hand. A lot of people are freaking out. I'm not freaking out. I'm just, because I feel like it's really bad for people that live in very populated areas. So you in like New York, LA, these places that are very dense with a lot of people, big city type shit. Then yeah, you got a little bit something more to worry about, especially New York and Manhattan, places like that where it's very busy. People are walking by each other every day, going to work in cabs, Ubers, whatever you want to call it. People are very enclosed in buildings and touching a lot of the same things. So, yeah, I would be way more worried, but, live in the country, so I'm not really worried because I'm not constantly around hundreds of people every day. But you still got to be careful no matter where you are because you don't want to get this virus, because it seems to be very, very extreme. And I can only imagine if this doesn't get any better, what's it's going to look like in a few months from now in the summer. What it's going to look like in the summer. Maybe when it heats up, the heat will kill it. I don't know. But that don't make sense because it's all over the world, so in some hot places. Funny thing about it, I ain't seen nothing about it being in Africa, though. Nowhere hot. I ain't seen about it being nowhere hot, though. But once again, this is Swisher Podcast. Make sure you guys follow me at SwisherENT on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram at SwisherENT. So you can keep up with the podcast. Make sure you also hit that subscribe button on Apple Podcasts if you're listening to Apple Podcasts on your Apple device. You will get a notification when the podcast drops. So you can have that. So you know when this podcast drops. I usually drop around late night of the day of. So you can get it listening to that night or the next day. Usually probably that next day. But yeah, it's how you rocking on here on Switch Your Podcast. Man, I got a video I want to share. Charlamagne the God. A lot of you know who Charlamagne the God is. Charlamagne the God talking about how that Rudy dude I was talking about just got everybody fucked up right now because he's just being stupid. I'm gonna play it for y'all real quick.
I can admit that a lot of us weren't taking the coronavirus that serious. Not that I didn't think it was serious. I mean, when you see 115,000.
115,001.
Now it's 115,001.
You're just gonna cough at a time like this?
It's right in front of you.
You're just gonna cough at a time like this?
Disgusting.
You're just gonna cough at a time like this, Steven?
I'm choking on some bacon.
Jesus Christ.
Goodness
man.
gracious.
Get this guy some goddamn water, please. Jesus Christ. As I was saying, not that I didn't think it was serious. I just know when you see 115,000 coronavirus cases worldwide, now 115,001, and when you see 4,200 deaths, you have to take it serious. But we've also seen SARS, bird flu, swine flu, MERS, Ebola, Zika. Yeah, it just seems like we've seen this movie before. So it's like you feel a way, but you don't panic. And myself, I make jokes because I have learned in life that you have to love and laugh your way through things. So yes, I refer to the coronavirus as Corona Quimby. I grew up reading Beverly Cleary books, and if you grew up reading Beverly Cleary books, then you are aware of Ramona Quimby, and she was a pest. And that is exactly what it seems like the coronavirus is, a pest. So Corona Quimby it is, but it seems like that damn coronavirus is so much more than just a pest. All right, we don't know quite what it is yet, but if Italy is any indication of what can happen to a country, America doesn't want that problem, right? Rudy touched all the microphones after the press conference, and I know what you're thinking. He probably spread it to others, but according to the CBC, that's not the case. Let's go to KUTV, CBS 2 for the report, please.
This is video from a Monday press conference as Rudy was leaving. Watch as he touches all the mics there. This became an issue tonight on Twitter. Everybody talking about those mics in that press conference. We have checked, by the way, with CDC guidelines, and less than 2 seconds that he came in contact with those microphones is not close to what the CDC defines as prolonged exposures.
Jesus. So luckily he didn't spread it. Look, guys, here's the thing. I suggest loving and laughing through all situations, but I'm not going to play and make light of it when people are dying, when people are getting sick the way they are. We know it's real. We just don't know how real it is. Okay, well, sadly, maybe now, because of his arrogance, Rudy Gobert can let the rest of us know. Please give Rudy Gobert the biggest hee-haw. I can...
Now, this dude really touched all the mics, really did that, and he got some people sick. Well, he got his teammates sick. Now, shit like that is just stupid, bro. If I was his teammate, I would have been mad as hell. I done test positive for this shit because you gave it to me. Hell nah, we ain't cool no more because you play too much. That's the definition of you play too much right there. And they said a lot of things are closing down. NCAA canceled, ACC tournament canceled, NBA season suspended. All these events, music events, whatever, canceled, postponed. Here's a fun fact. Disneyland is closed in response to the coronavirus. It has only closed 3 times since its opening in 1955. For a national day of mourning after President Kennedy was assassinated in 1963, after the North Bridge earthquake in 1994, and after the September 11 attacks. So those are the 3 times that it has been closed since 1955. My fault. Since 1955. Damn, that's crazy. It's only been closed 3 times since then. So Disney World's open every day. Or Disneyland or Disney World, whatever. That's crazy. So that lets you know Disneyland, Disney World closed. Lets you know how serious this is. And that it's insane. Wow. That's something I just found out. But yeah, man. Everybody be safe out there. Wash your hands. Do what you got to do to keep yourself safe. Because if you do the things to keep yourself safe, you're keeping everybody else safe out here. And, hopefully this will pass. This shall pass. Just like all the other viruses in the past years, this shall pass too. But once again, this is Swisher Podcast. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you listen on Apple Podcasts. Make sure you hit that follow button if you listen on Spotify or SoundCloud. And make sure you follow me on Instagram at swisherent to keep up with the podcast and what's going on. You can catch me every Monday through Friday. You can look for a new episode. Like I said, I try to stay on top of it as much as possible. Just be patient with me. If I don't get one day, you can definitely look for another day or a day after that. You always look for a podcast. If not, it's 140-something podcasts. I guarantee you probably haven't listened to them all, so definitely go back and listen to those podcasts and enjoy. Definitely enjoy. Once again, it's Swisher Podcast, and I'm out.